Labor pains have always been the white elephant in the room. Keep in mind always, you never know what your birth's going to be like. You have no control over this birth, no matter how you want to try to plan it with your birth plan of what you want and you don't want. Birth is always unexpected, yet it does unfold. And if you labor, you will go through different viewpoints of how you perceive of the sensations you have inside your body. And these are the skills that families wanted to cover. Remember, in the early 70s, when we started with developing these skills, the focus was entirely on coping with labor pains because the cesarean rate was 4.5% when we started in 1972. So we had to look at labor pains from the viewpoint of whether pain is a problem and how do you cope with pain. And the reality is that usually labor pains are not a problem. And that's why it's very confusing, particularly for fathers, to see a woman in so much pain, or for a woman to feel, I'm going to die from this pain. And yet the care providers around you, midwives or obstetricians, will say this is natural. We've developed a set of resources for you to go through. Like in all of these lessons, pick and choose the ones you want. Each has been written as an individual ebook because some are on Kindle and Nook. And so there is some repetition. Skip over that. So you want to be able to work with the natural occurring pain of labor contractions or any pains that you have throughout pregnancy once you start these skills, and if you have a cesarean or post-birth recovery. Pain is pain is pain. And the more you can cope and manage and work through it and work with it and stay on top and feel in control, doesn't necessarily take the pain away. However, you feel better and you feel less overwhelmed by the experience. One of the other handouts in this lesson is about fathers being great coaches. In the early 1970s, when these skills developed, fathers were just being permitted into the hospitals in the United States. Yes, many of us went to Lamaze classes or Bradley classes, which was actually called husband-coached childbirth. The reality is that women do not know how to birth. As natural as it is and as normal as it is to get pregnant and have a baby, we actually don't know how to do it. And that's not so bizarre. The fact is that sex is natural. But we don't know how to be great lovers. We need skills to learn to be great lovers. Being hungry is natural. However, you just don't go and pick a berry off the bush without having the skills to know if that berry is safe to eat. In fact, most of us with children have spent years taking things out of our kids' mouths because we don't instinctively know what is safe and what is poisonous to put into our mouths. And therefore, we do not instinctively know how to birth. We just will birth one way or another. So it's really important to understand that women, we want our partners to know how to help us do something we don't know how to do. Because there's a belief birth is women's business and a belief that women instinctively know how to birth, which is different than you will get through birth one way or another. Women want their partners to be there for them and to know how to help. But if we don't know how to help ourselves, if we don't have the skills to help ourselves, how can fathers help us? And this is why birthing better skills were developed equally by women and by men, because we wanted to develop a common body language. That's what's so important.